We had 37 Cuban Americans aboard, and they wanted to bring back about 100 relatives. We get over there, and in the morning, there's countless boats milling around outside the entrance to Mariel Harbor. And there's Cuban gunboats, and they're running around kind of herding everybody. There must have been well over 1,000 boats anchored in Mariel Harbor. Big boats, little boats, all kind of boats. Shrimpers, fishing boats, yachts. And I never saw such a crowded harbor in my life. And we soon realized that all these boats were waiting to load, and some of them had been waiting for weeks. And we realized, because we had thought, well, you come in there, you get the people, and you leave, but that's not how it was. You got in there and you waited a turn. They would make announcements every couple of hours which boats to come to the dock and load. The name of our boat didn't come up day after day after day. The days got long and the tempers got short. Now we're there for 18 days. The supplies are running low, and water was running low. Comes a boat alongside with 3 soldiers in it. They just came aboard without asking. One of my crew runs over and says, "Hey, what are you guys doing?" "Capitan, where is Capitan?" Crew came over and said, "We got visitors here." I got down to the deck, and the guy with the most stripes on his arm turned to me and he said, "You come, Colonel want to see you." I said, "Nah, I ain't going nowhere with you." He looks at me up and down, and of course, he's wearing a piece on his belt, and he reaches down and he puts his hand on the piece. He didn't draw it, but he puts his hand on it. He says, "You will come with us." Well, obviously I have no choice. I told Bad Bob, one of my crew, I said, "You're in charge. I have to go with these guys. If I don't come back, you know what to do." Me, I'm shaking myself to pieces. I'm just trembling inside. I'm trying to be cool. I'm trying to look cool. Very difficult, because I am just really rattled, and I have reason to be. And we go across the harbor, and there is a great big 100-foot yacht. And they come up alongside and take me aboard. So they open the door, and I walk into this office, and there stands this guy, a tall, well-built, very dark, and very good-looking man in an immaculate starched white uniform, and he's got a little swagger stick in his hand, and he's pacing around, and he's slapping his swagger stick into his hand, and I can see he's clearly annoyed about something. And when I walked into the office, he put the stick down, and he turned around and he smiled at me. "Siéntese, Capitan." And he motioned me over to a real comfortable chair. And he walked around and sat behind his desk across from me. And he began just small talk in Spanish. "¿Quieres café?" "Sí, por favor, señor." Then he takes and he opens a box of cigars and he offers me one. I take a cigar and I light it up, and he lights one up, and he and I are sitting there smoking cigars and drinking coffee. And he says, "You see, life is good in Cuba." And I just replied without thinking. I said, "Well, I guess it depends who you are." And he frowned for just a moment, and then the smile came back and the small talk continued. And this went on for about 20 minutes. And then all of a sudden he gets a serious expression on his face. And he says, in perfect English, without a trace of an accent, he says, "Now, Captain, down to business." I said, "Oh shit." I don't know why he's been playing with me all this time, but this is it. The hammer is about to drop. And then he says to me, "Captain, you have a big boat." I said, "Sí, senor." He says, I need your big boat. I said, what do you mean you need my big boat? He says, well, I have certain people that we are sending out of here, and I need to put them on your boat. And I realized when he's talking about this that I am not there to be busted. He either doesn't know or doesn't care about the other stuff. And so I'm sitting there in a mixture of relief and frustration, not knowing what to do, what to say. I'm trying to change gears, and I guess I quit shaking. And I said, well, Colonel, these people chartered the boat, and, you know, I'm responsible to them. And he says to me, he says, well, Captain, you don't have much choice in this matter. And so at this point, I'm gathering my wits, and I'm not worried anymore. And I said, well, yes, I do have something to say about it. I'm the master of that vessel, and she will not leave except with whom I came for. And he looks at me and he stares at me for a while. And then very slowly, he reaches down and he pulls out his piece, a GI 45, and he lays it on the desk. The gesture is obvious. I don't know what the hell to do at this point, but I said, this son of a bitch wants to be dramatic. Well, I'll show him some drama. And so happens I was wearing a knife, a big knife. I had a fairly big Bowie knife on my belt, which, you know, sailors carry a knife. So I reached down, very slowly I reached down, I drew the knife and I laid it on the desk. And he looks at that, and he looks at me, and he says, suddenly he gets a big broad smile and he says, very good, Captain, but no match. He said, tomorrow at 9 o'clock you will bring your vessel to the dock and we will load, with whom I say.